On a cold and rainy Saturday afternoon on the ACC Network Extra, the UMKC Kangaroos travel to Raleigh to challenge the NC State Wolfpack. Here on the campus of NC State University, we are live from Reynolds Coliseum, and we welcome you courtside here. My name is Andrew Sanders, alongside my partner Chucky Brown. It's a special atmosphere in here this afternoon. It's a tough ticket to get. It's a packed house. This is the heritage game for NC State. The Wolfpack played here from 1949 to 1999 before they moved to the PNC Arena. So we look up this matchup here today against UMKC. These two teams play a pretty similar style. These coaches are no strangers.
Yeah, they're no strangers. They coached together at Louisville on the national championship team. So I'm looking for the team that can force the most turnovers and the team that can capitalize on the other team's mistakes better to come out victorious on this game.
Taking care of the basketball is going to be a key in this one. Another key for the Kangaroos, they're led by their senior guard, Broderick Robinson. This man shot almost 41% last year, second in the WAC. He's coming off a 24-point performance on Wednesday. He can really shoot the basketball.
Yes, he can really shoot the ball, and it's going to be very important for NC State to make sure all of his looks are tough looks.
And for NC State, they've been led by the big guys this year. It really starts with the sophomore Omer Yurtseven, averaging nearly 13 points a game. He leads the team in rebounding. He's really come into his own as a sophomore.
Yeah, he's coming to his own as a sophomore. I think that it's been more of a comfort level with him. Last year, I don't think he was as comfortable. He's been here a year now. He's able to adjust, and I think he's a little bit more comfortable with the system and the way that we play over here.
Yurtseven is acclimated to the American game in his second season. Here's a man who's a redshirt senior, Leonard Freeman. He redshirted last year, had a shin injury. He has been better than ever this season, especially when it comes to scoring the ball.
Yeah, he's been better than ever simply because he doesn't get out of character. He does the things that he does well. You don't see him floating around, shooting three-point shots. Everything that he does is around the basket, and he gets a lot of dirty work done. He gets a lot of loose balls and offensive rebounds. So he stays within character, so that's why he's been looking so good.
Freeman, 13 points in just 21 minutes a game. He leads the nation in offensive efficiency. And we are underway from Reynolds Coliseum. NC State starts off with the basketball. Here is Yurtseven at the top of the key. So we get a look at the NC State starters. Yurtseven grabs an offensive board and can't get the right hook to drop. Torin Dorn, Beverly, Markel Johnson, Al Freeman, and Omer Yurtseven for the Wolfpack.
Yeah, that was a good possession for NC State that time. They got a good shot that they wanted inside the paint. It just didn't go in.
Xavier Bishop with the basketball. He's the point guard, and here's Markel Johnson.
There you go.
He'll get this crowd into it early.
Yeah, nice play by Markel Johnson playing the passing lane. He was able to get a steal and get an easy basket.
His 21st steal of the season. Johnson second in the ACC in thefts. 10 guarding 10 here as Robinson brings the ball over the half court.
Good patience by the Kangaroos. They're not in a hurry to take any quick shots.
Only 7 on the shot clock. Robinson had to pass up the shot, and that one barely ticked iron.
Yeah, good patience that time by UMKC, but also good defense by NC State. They were also patient on the defensive end.
Yurtseven double teamed, and there's a swipe. Bishop, the point guard, looking to push the pace. Not handled cleanly by Marvin Nesbitt Jr., but he feeds Lear downside. Or Leak, pardon me, and he scores.
Yeah, good patience that time, again, on offense by UMKC. Down here, Yurtseven on the offensive end, he has to be a little bit better and not wait for the double team to get there. Pass it before the double team gets there, and that'll cause UMKC to get in a little bit more of a scramble defensively.
Again, this is what we expected. Both teams to pressure, both teams certainly take the basketball away. Johnson almost moved that pivot foot. He's got an open three. And he buries it. Something he's really improved this season, his three-point shooting.
Yeah, he's worked on it, and that was a good look that time. And as you see, UMKC not wasting any time pushing the ball right back at NC State.
Yeah, right after a made basket. Here's Torin Dorn. Oh, what a move. How did he slip by Robinson?
Great move and great use of the left hand off the glass. And it looked like the officials are going to let him play a little bit here early.
Well, if that's the case, this is really going to be a fun one here today.
Oh, yeah.
Watching these two teams play this kind of tempo.
Good defense by Markel, taking little swipes at the ball.
McKissick will back it out. Drives right side of the lane and scoops it in.
Good drive that time to the basket, but NC State has to come over. Yurt 7 has to come over and maybe try to block that shot or alter the shot, not make the shot so easy.
Dorn thought about the three. Lost the handle. Yurt 7. Boy, he was quick to the floor there to pick it up and score.
Yeah, good finish that time around the basket by Yurt 7 with a nice little jump hook.
NC State has not played in a week. They had exams. They haven't played since last Saturday against South Carolina State. Robinson, that's Cash. Again, He scored 24 points on Wednesday on the road against Southeast Missouri in a narrow loss.
Yeah, that was a nice shot that time, a nice little step back, and Beverly just couldn't contest the shot. He couldn't get a hand up on the shot because he created space.
Johnson will try another three. It rattles out. You see the Wolfpack, a little more size down there.
Yeah, good job by Yurt 7 to keep the ball alive and allow NC State to have a second chance opportunity.
Al Freeman has been quiet so far. Good pass down low, and Dorn was fouled by Nesbitt Jr.
Yeah, good pass that time by Freeman, and Dorn was able to get fouled.
That brings us to our first timeout. NC State with a narrow 9-8 advantage on the Kangaroos of UMKC. Welcome back to Raleigh with Chucky Brown. I'm Andrew Sanders. There's the head coach of the Kangaroos, Kareem Richardson, in his 5th season, coming off really the best season in UMKC history last year. They had 18 wins, finished 4th in the WAC, but they made the CBI, made a postseason tournament for the first time, and reached the 2nd round, but they lost all 5 starters. So this is a team that has 9 newcomers and has some guys that were on the team last year that they're seeing a much increased role.
Yeah, well, it's always tough when you lose people, and especially that high of a number, and then you come back with 9 newcomers. So now there's an adjustment period, which they're going through now. And they've been doing a pretty good job. I know they're 3-7, but they've been doing a pretty good job of trying to adjust.
Good bounce pass by Beverly, and there's Leonard Freeman. He's been into the game for, 20 seconds, and he gets a bucket.
Yeah, well, Leonard Freeman, again, around the basket, and around the basket, he likes using that left hand, and that's exactly what he did right there.
Alir Leak picked up the dribble and threw it away.
Yeah, that time you saw a guy that was really uncomfortable on the low post because he threw the pass out. It wasn't even a double team there, and he just threw the pass out, didn't see a guy open and threw the ball away.
There's the head coach of the Wolfpack, Kevin Keats, in his first season. He brought out a special jacket for the Reynolds game. It's a sharp look.
Yeah, got the red jacket. You know, that's a tradition here, the red jacket. I remember when Sidney Ward, Coach Godfrey, all of them. So it's good to see Coach Keats wearing the red jacket as well.
Coach Keats coming over from UNCW, where he led the Seahawks to a couple of NCAA tournament appearances. And again, both Coach Keats and Coach Richardson were assistant coaches on the 2013 National Championship team at Louisville.
Yeah, Coach Keats added a little bit more flair on his, though, because he got red buttons on the
red
white
buttons
shirt.
Are a nice touch.
That's
absolutely. Speaking of a nice touch, there's Leonard Freeman again.
Nice move by Leonard. Again, around the basket. He's going to do the things that he does well and is not going to get out of character. Good defense by Markel.
Bishops. Boy, that was a brick. Saved by Malik Abu underneath his own basket. Usually a no-no. It works out this time.
Yeah.
And then how about the swipe the other way? Bishop picks Freeman's pocket, and he'll score it.
Yeah, you all, as a guard or a big man, whatever, you always hated those little 5'8" guys that could time your dribble and use their quickness to take the ball. And that's exactly what he did right there.
Big-time crossover from Freeman, and he's fouled on his way to the cup.
Yeah, good job by Freeman getting to the basket, creating the contact, and now he's getting right to the line. Right there, you saw the timing of it, and that just, as a player, that gets on your nerves when you see those little guys that are just so quick that you can't do anything about it.
Al Freeman to the free throw line. Graduate student from Charlotte, North Carolina, began his college career at Baylor, played in 3 NCAA tournaments. They count on him for offense. He's leading the team nearly 16 points per game.
Yeah, he's going to be a valuable part of what NC State does, because he's been to the NCAA tournament. Comes from winning. A lot of guys have not been there yet, and he's been there, so he can show you better than he can tell you what it takes to get there.
Oh, nearly a throwaway. The Kangaroos now with numbers the other way. Bishop couldn't get the little floater to drop. That pass was a little behind Malik Abu.
Yeah, it was a good idea, though. It didn't work out like they wanted it, but that was a good idea right there. Freeman making the unselfish play. The ball was just mishandled by Malik.
Again, a big key today with the pressure that both of these teams put on is going to be who can take care of the basketball right here.
Yep.
Jordan Giles had to burn a timeout.
Yeah, it's going to be key who can make who the most uncomfortable, because they're both trying to make each other uncomfortable, and so far NC State is winning that battle.
So a timeout on the floor for the Kangaroos. Hey, big day Saturday on ESPN. MLS, Toronto and the Seattle Sounders, and then the Heisman Trophy presentation at 8 o'clock. Who you got? Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield, maybe Bryce Love?
I think you would have to go with, I hate to go with what everybody else goes with, but you got to go with Baker Mayfield because they're winning. They're in the college playoff. Although Lamar Jackson has put up better numbers than he did last year.
Yes, he did.
So, and he's the reigning Heisman guy, but I think they lost 3 or 4 games. So if you're going by, some of the criteria is winning, you got to go with Baker Mayfield.
I think Baker Mayfield would be my pick too, although many in this area might go for Bryce Love. He played his high school football right down the road in Wake Forest, North Carolina, and has really filled the shoes of Christian McCaffrey at Stanford very nicely.
I like Bryce Love, but they're not in the college football playoff.
They only hand the Heisman to quarterbacks most of the time.
That is true. That is true.
It is a big Saturday on ESPN. Freeman going to work.
Again, Leonard Freeman, one dribble to the middle, strong drop step, back to the left hand. So he likes that left hand around the basket, and he went off the glass that time against the 7-footer.
Oh, Bishop with a stone-cold shot right there. He came to play today, the sophomore from Springfield, Illinois. Yeah, Bishop is lightning quick out there, so it's going to be tough to keep him in front of you. So you try to back up and give him some space. And if he can hit that little shot, he'll have that all game because they're not going to pressure him out top because he can get by you. Being guarded by Mo Ahmed. Bishop comes over to double team. Ahmed on the court doesn't play a whole lot of minutes, but he's 7'2", and Abu right there, little push in the back. But number 14 for the Kangaroos, 7'2". He's the tallest player they've ever had in their D1 history. And so I think with NC State's size advantage, they might give Ahmed a few more minutes here. Yeah, I mean, Ahmed probably doesn't play a lot, but with the size of NC State, he's going to play a lot today. So he may be a factor in the press. He may be able to, if NC State gets a 2-on-1 and try to get a layup, he may be able to alter some shots back there for the Kangaroos. That was the 4th turnover by NC State, but they lead it by 6 here in the early going. This is Marco Smith. Giles with a shot fake, and the southpaw is too strong. Sam Hunt, another lefty, seeing some minutes for NC State. Yeah, Sam, look for Sam Hunt to try to get some shots up real quick and get going, because that's what he likes to do. He likes to come in and put it up and see how the heat check is out there. Started the season as a starter.
Right.
He's transitioned to the bench, really gave them a huge spark against Penn State where he knocked down 4 of his 5 threes, and he can be that guy off the bench that can give you instant offense.
Yeah, that's a good role for him coming off the bench, because when you come off the bench, there's a lot of shots for you coming off the bench, and he's a guy that likes to shoot, so he'll be comfortable in that role. Right there, a good 3-point shot by UMKC off a dribble, drive, and kick.
It's the freshman Marco Smith, the hometown kid from Kansas City. This is a team that shoots better than 36% from deep. They can shoot from the outside, and they will rely on that along with their pressure defense. Torin Dorn will pull the trigger for 3, in and out.
Yeah, if you're NC State, you might want to work it around a little bit more, but that was a pretty good shot, but you might want to do a little bit more work around. Good contest by Freeman that time.
3-on-3 situation. Tough angle for Freeman, but there's Torin Dorn. They call him their most versatile player. He handles like a guard. He rebounds like a forward.
Yeah, Torin Dorn, that's what he does. He's usually stronger than the guy that he's playing against, and that time he just outmuscled the guy for the rebound.
So we'll head to break. An official timeout here on the floor. 20-15 our score in Raleigh. NC State leads UMKC by 5 here in Reynolds Coliseum, and as part of the $35 million renovation of this facility, they turned it into a museum, a Hall of Fame. David Thompson, Lorenzo Charles, some of the Wolfpack greats that played here. I'm lucky enough to be joined by one next to me, Chucky Brown. Can you describe for everyone your memories in this building and what it meant to play in Reynolds Coliseum?
Man, I tell you, just coming in here, even though it's been renovated, just coming in here, just like the energy you feel and the memories that come back to you from the big games, from, the Carolinas, the Dukes, the Marylands, the Wake Forest, the Virginias. I mean, it's hard for me to explain it. It's just such a special feeling.
UMKC able to break that pressure. Isaiah Ross picked up his dribble. And he comes up short. And then Freeman just bobbled it.
Yeah, just mishandled a little bit by Leonard. That happens sometimes. As a rebounder, you hate that because you get a rebound and then you get a turnover. So you hate that for the stat sheet purposes.
So they added a Hall of Fame here.
Yeah.
They made it a more intimate setting.
Yeah,
back when you played, it was about 11,000, 12,000 that would pack in here. Now
Yep.
it's about 5,500. But with the addition of the Hall of Fame, there's air conditioning now.
Yeah, we didn't have AC.
That might have gone to your advantage in some games, huh?
Yeah, well, we didn't have AC back in the day, but they did have heat. But it was harder to play in here during the summer because you didn't have any AC. Good hustle that time by Beverly.
Wolfpack out and running, and Freeman was picked. Oh, what a play. Marco Smith got his hand in there, and here he comes the other way. Robinson's 3. No good. He was 5 of 10 on Wednesday. This has got a breakneck pace to it.
Yep. I mean, they're going at it. They're going at it. It's good basketball, good up and down, good clean basketball.
Freeman with the shot fake. Drives in and missed the point-blank shot.
Yeah,
and there's Johnson with another steal, his second of the ball game. Freeman's 3.
I'm sorry.
Whoa! Torin Dorn throws it down. That'll get the crowd into it.
Well, one thing that we're seeing here, we're seeing teams that they're getting up and down, but nobody's really taking bad shots. Everyone's taking good shots, but they are getting up and down and getting after it. And right there, you saw Torin Dorn with a nice follow.
Torin Dorn, 8.6 rebounds and an assist already. Here's Leak.
Ooh.
Oh, the big man can shoot it. Alir Leak, the junior from the South Sudan.
Big time shot that time. And UMKC needed that basket, and they got one. A 3-point shot by the big fella.
Don't let his size fool you. He came into this game 5 of 10 on the year from deep. Oh, Dorn came flying in there again. Boy, this has been a fun game. You having fun yet?
Yeah, I'm having fun. Like I said, they're getting up and down. They're getting after it. You see right here, nice shot by Freeman on the wing and Torin Dorn with the follow, but nobody's taking bad shots. Sometimes you see teams getting up and down and everybody's taking 3-point shots up and down the floor. Here you see both teams being patient, but they also getting after it, playing with a lot of energy.
Lead from UMKC. Leak comes out to set a high screen. Bishop now with the big man on him. Boy, he slipped that pass in there, and then Torin Dorn, he's filling the stat sheet. He gets a steal. Boy, Freeman,
nice.
He gets to wherever he wants on the court.
Nice move, nice patience. And back to the reverse left-hand layup. Nice shot by Freeman.
Well, I know we're having fun. I have to imagine that the players are having fun because for both of these teams, usually they're going up against a team that doesn't play as fast as them,
right,
that try to slow them down.
Right.
And here, your opponent's looking you right in the eyes and says, bring it.
Right. Yep. You're looking at the other guy, and no one wants to change their style. It's
right.
all about imposing your will on the other team. And both teams want to get up and down and press, and nobody's going to say, hey, I'm holding the ball. So that's a good thing.
That pass was almost thrown to Kevin Keats. McKissick, little out of control, had it blocked by Yurt-7, but his second effort works.
Yeah, he stayed with the shot. Yurt-7 blocked it, but as a shot blocker, sometimes you have to have that second reaction.
Beverly will get the shooter's touch. The true freshman got his first start against Tennessee. He's now found his way into the starting lineup. He does a lot of nice things and pairs well with Markel Johnson.
Yeah, he pairs well with Markel because he can run the point sometimes, and Markel can go off to the off-guard position, and sometimes Markel can run the point, and Beverly, since he's such a good shooter, Markel can create openings for him to be able to get good open shots.
Bishop with a drive, had it swatted by Omer Yurt-7. 5'8" against 7'1", and 7'1" wins out. But Al Freeman and the Wolfpack are out and running here in Reynolds Coliseum. They lead it by 7. In the first ever meeting between NC State and UMKC, the Wolfpack lead it here at the 7:35 mark of the first half. With Chucky Brown, I'm Andrew Sanders. Well, we briefly touched on it earlier, Chucky, that UMKC lost all 5 starters last season, had all 5 seniors. They lost 71% of their scoring. NC State is also in a similar boat, lost several players, including the ACC Freshman of the Year. So both of these teams have to replace a ton of scoring.
Both teams, well, with NC State, you lost one guy who was a key guy, and you have some transfers coming in. So when you have a guy like Freeman, that helps ease the transition into the new players. But for UMKC, it's a little bit tougher. Now you got 9 newcomers. Now you got to find out who's going to be their guy. And I think right now, like I said earlier, they're searching for their identity now with these early games, and they seem to be doing a good job of finding it.
Only 5 to shoot. Freeman gives to Yurt-7. A little baseline fadeaway is short, and he gets his own rebound. He's just too big.
Yep, just too big. And that time a nice soft touch, and he was going to the basket. The first shot he was fading away, and it was short. That time he was going to the basket with a little bit of contact, and he was strong enough to still go in for him.
Ross gives to Bishop. And again, Leak will shoot it. That one's way too strong, though. But you look at Xavier Bishop now as a sophomore. He has made big strides. Broderick Robinson, who, again, wasn't really a starter last year, although he did play close to starter minutes.
Right.
Those two have really stepped up and made it their team.
Right.
As Dorn scores, takes a tumble over Yurt-7, and it gives NC State its first double-digit lead of the game, largest lead of the game. NC State right now rebounding half of its misses.
Yeah, that's going to be key. They have the size advantage, so that's going to be key for NC State to capitalize on that. That time, Yurt-7 was somewhat of a touch foul, but was still a foul, and UMKC was able to get an and-one opportunity. But here you see Yurt-7 getting an opportunity to follow the shot, and that time going to the basket with a little bit of contact, was still able to put the ball in because he was going towards the basket. The first shot was a fadeaway, and it was short. I know he doesn't like a whole lot of contact down there, but when you fade away, you have to put a little bit more on it, and he just didn't put that on it in the beginning, but was able to stay with it and get another easy basket.
He's skies high for the rebound, had it knocked out of his hands by Nesbitt, and that'll be NC State basketball. And perhaps that replay was a good example of what you were talking about in the open, where Yurt-7 seems more comfortable this year, and that was a more aggressive play that maybe he wouldn't have made last year going to the basket on that second effort.
Right, he didn't have the confidence
Markel Johnson! How many point guards in the country can do that?
Not many. Not many. That's a big-time play, a big-time athletic move. Here you see, against the press, and this is what you want to do. Attack the basket. And Markel attacked the basket, was angry at the rim, and finished strong. Wow.
I mean, you could see he had that look in his eye when he picked it up just outside the free throw line.
And those are the things that he can do. Those are the things, because he's such an athletic guard, but sometimes you've seen in early games where he might pass that off. But now he attacked the rim and got an easy dunk.
Al Freeman is guilty of reaching in. We told you it was a special atmosphere.
Yes. Here we go again.
This will take the top off any building. A Sports Center top 10 nominee.
Yeah, and that's how you attack the rim, though, with a 7-footer. You have to attack the rim. You have to go there to finish the play.
I mentioned earlier, Mo Ahmed is 7'2".
Yes.
I think he saw Johnson's intentions, and he didn't want any part
no
of
parts
that.
of that.
Boy, Bishop can really drive it. Finds an open man in the corner. Offensive rebound. And Ahmed boards it. Malik Abu. He's back and healthy again for NC State, and they're glad to have him back. Their leading scorer, rebounder last year, offensive rebound. Not quite the dunk he was looking for, but that'll work.
Yeah, that's just too big and too strong right there by Malik Abu. Coming off, getting the offensive rebound, as you see right here, getting good position and just going up and just won't be denied. But just too big and too strong for Malik Abu.
You see he's got a brace and a wrap on that right knee. Suffered a meniscus injury and missed the first couple of games. Played down in the Bahamas in the battle for Atlantis, and then did not play last Saturday. Right. But the week off, obviously these student athletes, they hit the books. Now they're ready to hit the court.
Yes.
That gave him a little more time to get back and get right.
Yeah, so the exams, I guess, couldn't have come at a better time for Malik Abu. You know, fighting the injury, getting that time off, and now he's rejuvenated, and then you come in the Reynolds to play where the atmosphere is so energetic and you can feed off of the crowd.
NC State has missed 11 shots in this game. They've rebounded 6 of those misses. Robinson had his shot bothered by Freeman, had to go reverse with the left hand, couldn't get it to drop. Now Beverly will take an NBA range 3, splash.
Big time shot that time by Beverly. Wide open and knocked it down on the wing.
And UMKC right now in the danger zone a little bit. That Markel Johnson dunk has energized this Wolfpack team. 18-point lead. They need Robinson scoring. Had it tipped away. Johnson could call the fair catch on it. Now he'll get the lob.
Nice smart play that time by Beverly. Markel gave it up after the steal in order to get it back.
UMKC just trying to catch its breath a little bit, trying to settle down.
Yeah, well, NC State has really made them very uncomfortable. When UMKC is pressing, NC State is attacking the basket just like Markel Johnson did, but NC State has continued to do that, and they have not let the Kangaroos get any sort of comfort down on the offensive end. NC State has been right in front of them, keeping them in front of them, and just trying to force them to take shots, contested shots.
A whistle away from the ball. I believe they're going to get LeVar Batts on a hold. How about this run for NC State? It's an 11-0 run in the last minute and 48 seconds. But it's a 17-2 run in the last 4 minutes.
Yeah, that's what this style of basketball does.
Right,
you go on big-time runs. You also might go on a little bit of a drought at times too, but you go on big-time runs when you play this style of basketball.
NC State up 20. Beverly with a nice pass down low, maybe not that nice, maybe a little too low for Abu. He couldn't catch it cleanly.
Yeah, it was a good idea. When you have those type of turnovers, you don't mind that because the unselfish idea is right there.
Steve Dully seeing his first minutes. Played well on Wednesday against Southeast Missouri. Bishop, tough shot, not this time.
Yeah, UMKC is one and done. NC State is getting their second chance opportunities, and that's why they've built a 20-point lead.
The entry pass from Beverly, Abu off the glass, and one. He'll have a chance for the three-point play when we come back from break. But how about Markel Johnson?
Yeah, Markel Johnson right here in the press, in the open court. Far too great an athlete. Take that, big fella. Here we go.
Tonight on ESPN, Bucci and Anderson host SportsCenter at midnight Eastern after the boxing title fight. They'll have Teddy Atlas's ringside reactions after what could be one of the fights of the year, plus Mel Kiper Jr. and Todd McShay on the risk of drafting Baker Mayfield. And LeBron and the Cavs look to bounce back against the Sixers after their 13-game win streak was snapped last night. SportsCenter with the Johns on ESPN and the ESPN app. Well, NC State is playing above the rim here in the first half.
Yeah, they're not giving up anything easy, and that was the key. They could not allow the Kangaroos any type of easy baskets.
Freeman amongst a wall of Kangaroo arms. Can't score it.
Yeah, still that's a shot, right there that Leonard Freeman normally takes. He just missed it.
Kangaroos badly needing a bucket here. We'll see if Robinson tries to generate something. They're just 1 for their last 11. And as you said in the open, you said they need to make sure he doesn't get easy shots. Yes. He hasn't been left open.
No, and NC State's defense is forcing the Kangaroos to push their offense out a little bit further on the floor.
And they take a tough off-balance shot there. Abdul Malik Abu is blocked. Alir Leak had 3 huge blocks. I watched their game Wednesday against Southeast Missouri, and he was big time down in the post. And you see, he's listed at only 6'9", but his wingspan, he plays much bigger than that.
Yeah, he's got long arms. It looked like he could scratch his kneecaps. His arms are so long. But that time, Malik didn't have the explosion that he normally has. So that shot also got blocked. But, yeah, he was dealing with a long fella. That's what we call a long fella down there in the paint.
Johnson probing. And it's boarded up by Marvin Nesbitt Jr.
Yeah, UMKC has decided to go small here and play a little small ball. And let's see how that works out for him.
Still can't get anything to drop for him. That was a pretty good look for Isaiah Ross, who was a good three-point shooter.
Yeah, they've decided to go a little small ball here, and we'll see how that works out for them, because we'll see if NC State adjusts or if they keep doing what they've been doing.
So, Chucky, I'm curious as to your thoughts on this. Sometimes during the NCAA tournament or just NC State playing in PNC Arena, it's one of the biggest arenas for college basketball in the country. Right. People talk about these big arenas are tough as the lob goes over LeVar Batts. People sometimes say that playing in a big arena, it's tough for shooters. It's hard for them to get their distance right. This is a more intimate setting. When you played in Reynolds, you feel like it was a great gym to shoot in?
I felt like Reynolds was a great gym to shoot in. I've always felt like an arena was an arena, though. I didn't really look at like, okay, it's got a big backdrop. I'm not dealing with the backdrop. I'm dealing with the rim right here in front of me. So, I mean, I guess, it's all mental, I guess. So mentally, I never let that affect me as a player. I just thought an arena was an arena. Like, if we put this game at the PNC has a bigger backdrop, but I'm not looking at the backdrop.
Right. So you're like Gene Hackman and Hoosiers, basically. You're just measuring. It's 15 feet to the free throw
that's
line.
It.
The rim is 10 feet high,
measurements.
94 feet.
Same measurements. Maybe not the arena, but the court is. And then we deal with the court.
Leonard Freeman using his muscle. Nesbitt with the board. Doing a nice job to keep NC State off the offensive glass. Hasn't happened nearly enough for Coach Richardson's team so far. On a screen for Robinson.
Good hands. Good active hands that time by Markel Johnson. He plays the passing lane so well. And it's tough to throw a pass with space in front of him because he plays those passing lanes so well.
22 steals on the year already. A lot of people were saying when Coach Keats got hired, hey, Markel Johnson is a perfect fit for his system. It's worked out that way so far.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job, and he's really comfortable with this style of play.
Nesbitt missed everything.
Yeah,
and he'll hear about it.
NC State is just the defense. They've not allowed anything easy. They've been there to contest everything, and that's where UMKC, they're struggling at, because they're taking everything with a hand in the face.
NC State can go 2 for 1 here if they want it, and they do want it. And LeVar Batts gets it.
Yeah, he's worked on that shot. I've really never seen a guy get better during the season as far as shooting goes so quick. And he's done a good job, because when he first came in, he wasn't shooting the ball like that.
Bishop with a tough drive, and he scores over the trees.
Nice finish that time by Bishop.
That snaps a 5-minute and 45-second scoring drought for the Kangaroos. Johnson's isolated here. The double team came late. Good defense by UMKC and Isaiah Ross. And so that will bring us to halftime. It's been a high-scoring affair for the Wolfpack. It was for UMKC until they hit that 6-minute skid, 47-24, as we head to the halftime break. Don't go anywhere. We'll have the halftime show coming up in a couple of minutes from Raleigh. Halftime here on the campus of NC State University. NC State leads at 47-24 as we welcome you back courtside in Reynolds Coliseum. Andrew Sanders back with Chucky Brown. Well, it's time to look at some halftime highlights here, and there were certainly plenty of highlights in a game that featured fast tempo from both teams. It starts with NC State. They got the ball inside early.
Yeah, NC State got the ball inside early. Leonard Freeman, you see right there, staying around the basket again, using that left hand around the basket and getting easy shots. And here you see Torrin Dorn pushing the ball against the press, able to get a nice 1-2 step, again, to the left-hand layup off the glass away from the 7-footer. And right here you see Freeman taking the shot, Torrin Dorn again doing what he does, getting the loose balls, getting offensive rebounds. And here Markel Johnson playing passing lanes, which you can't be relaxed with the ball around him. And right here you see him attacking the rim, saying, hey, there's a meeting at the rim, big fella, are you coming? And right here, you see UMKC going to the basket with very few easy looks that they got. Well, right here in transition off a nice steal, and here a nice little jump shot from the corner. They didn't really get a whole lot of easy looks, and I think that's why NC State went on their run. Right here was the easiest shot that Robinson had all first half, and I think that was his only shot that he made, but that was the easiest shot. NC State has made everything tough.
It is. Broderick Robinson just 1 for 5 in the first half. He scored only 2 points. As you get a look at the stats, and NC State dominant in the paint. They started to dominate on the fast break. That's when they really got it going, because UMKC was hanging right in there about 8-9 minutes into this game, and then NC State stepped on the gas pedal, went on a 17-2 run, and never looked back from there. So we'll head to break one last time. When we come back, we'll have second half action between the Kangaroos and the Wolfpack right here on the ACC Network Extra. We are just about set to begin second half action with Chucky Brown. I'm Andrew Sanders. NC State 47, UMKC 24. Well, as we looked at this at the start, we said it's the first ever meeting, but these teams are pretty familiar, or at least the coaches are, right? Because they were assistants at Louisville together. They play similar styles. Both of these teams very similarly lost about 70% of their scoring from last year. I think it's a good matchup, too, city-wise. Both Raleigh, Kansas City, both pretty cool cities. Both of them pride themselves on having some good barbecue as well. Yeah,
well, Kansas City, that was the first place that I went and I had burnt ends. I had never had burnt ends before. And I'm going to tell you, Kansas City got some of the best burnt ends in the country. So if you ever get to Kansas City, you got to go to the barbecue. They got plenty of barbecue places. I can't remember. I've been to so many in Kansas City, but you got to go. You got to go.
I'll tell you what. Last year, I had burn ends in Kansas City for the first time.
I'm trying to tell you.
And it was a life-changing experience.
I'm trying to tell you.
Although, no offense, no shade thrown to Kansas City, I'll still take my Eastern North Carolina vinegar barbecue.
Right. Okay, I like.
Give me the vinegar-based over everything.
Right. I like the vinegar-based. You know, it's funny how barbecue is different all around the country. Because South Carolina, you go to the mustard base. Alabama, you go to the mayonnaise base. So it's funny, but Kansas City, to me, has some of the best barbecue in the country.
Let me tell you what, though. If it's barbecue, I don't care where it is. I don't care what's on it. It's good. I'll eat it.
If it's barbecue, I'll eat it. I don't care where it's from.
We'll go North Carolina. We'll go Kansas City.
Yep.
We'll go Texas.
Yeah, that's right.
Korean. I'll take all kinds of barbecue.
Any kind of barbecue. Give it here.
McKissick to the free throw line, the freshman from Ferguson, Missouri. One of 5 freshmen on this team. This is a UMKC team. They came in with a 3-7 record, but they played a really tough schedule. They already played at Wichita State, who's ranked in the top 10, at Kansas State, and against a Loyola team that already beat Florida. Right. So they've been battle tested.
Yeah, they're battle tested, and the 3-7 record is not, they're probably a better team than 3-7. So to see the job that what NC State is doing to them is pretty impressive.
Robinson gets an open look, and that's what he can do.
Yeah, well, if he gets an open look, now look for him to try to get more shots up. He probably didn't get the shots up that he used to getting in the first half. NC State made things tough for him. But look for him to try to get some more shots up in this half.
Doran all the way to the cup, and he scores over top of Nesbitt, who had a key block on Beverly, the prior possession that led to that open three-point shot. But if Broderick Robinson can start to find his shot, find his offense, here he is again, he can heat up very quickly, and UMKC can make this a game.
Yeah, look for him to take those kind of shots. I mean, NC State has done a good job of pushing the Kangaroos' offense a little bit further outside on the floor. So look for him to start taking a little bit deeper three-point shots like he just did.
Markel Johnson was left alone, didn't want to look for his offense there. And Coach Keats, obviously, he has to push him because this is his first year as a starter. He played behind Dennis Smith Jr., and he said that experience really helped him a lot. He learned a lot, but he's pushing him, and in some ways he wants him to look for his offense maybe a little bit more. Don't be too unselfish.
Yeah, don't be too unselfish. That time a nice shot by Torrin Doran, but as far as Markel Johnson, don't be too unselfish. Just like, in transition, work on his pull-up jump shots, work on attacking the rim because he's athletic enough to finish at the rim with contact against another big.
We've seen Johnson be aggressive in this game with the dunk. He does shoot this time and misses left. But he is really coming to his own as a sophomore.
Yeah, look for him to get a whole lot better as the season goes on, too.
Alir Leak with a nice shot fake. Again, 6'9". He's long. He's athletic. And he shows you his versatility.
Yeah, that was a nice shot by Alik that time. You don't see bigs normally put the ball down on the floor and do that, and that was a nice play by him that time.
Beverly with a good crossover. Yurt 7 will score over top of Leak.
Nice shot that time by Yurt 7 with the left hand. Again, going towards the basket, and he got a nice touch and a nice soft touch on the rim. But going towards the basket is the key and not shooting the fadeaway shots.
Bishop with the basketball, and UMKC needs him to step up big, too. He had a career high on Wednesday night, had 18 points. He shot 11 free throws. We've seen him be able to dice down the lane a couple of times. He was very aggressive on Wednesday, and they need him to get in the lane, get to the line, create for others, and do those things that he was able to do so effectively.
Yeah, you're going to see them, or the Kangaroos or UMKC, attacking the rim a little more because they have to try to get to the free throw line and try to get some points with the clock stop if they're going to try to work their way and try to win this game.
There's Bishop. He gets his basket.
Yeah, when you play against guys like Bishop, it's really hard to keep him in front of you, so you have to rely on that help defense coming over maybe to help you and block his shot or alter his shot a little bit.
Beverly, that's a pretty shot.
Nice, off the pick and roll, off the high pick and roll, Beverly right to the basket and a nice layup at the end of it.
NC State so glad that he got his waiver from the NCAA. It should be noted, as he should have. Only ended up costing him a couple of games as Giles knocks down a triple, and UMKC will call timeout. 55-34, 21-point lead for the Wolfpack, but UMKC trying to cut into it again. They're a good three-point shooting team. They will head to break. If they can keep knocking down the threes, they might climb back into this one. 21-point lead for NC State. Glad you could join us here on the ACC Network Extra. Along with Chucky Brown, I'm Andrew Sanders. So UMKC knocked down a 3 and called a timeout. Beverly with a 4th shot, and did it hit the end line? Yes, it did.
Yeah, shot clock running down that time. Beverly had a little bit more time than he thought. He's such a good shooter. Maybe if he could have given a pump fake, he might could have got even closer to the basket.
Kangaroos have been better offensively in this half. Marco Smith, that's easy.
Yep, good shot right there. Not coming off the pick and roll that time. Two NC State defenders got caught up together and came off the pick and roll that time and just knocked down an easy pull-up jump shot.
Or I guess I should say it should be easy, but more and more in the game as Hunt had that shot blocked by Giles, able to get it back. Possession continues. Dorn, a little wild. Yurt 7 using his reach, and here comes Bishop on the fast break. He'll get the basket in the foul. I was going to say, you know, the mid-range jump shot is kind of a lost art these days. So many guys, they either want to shoot the 3 or they want to go all the way to the rim. But Smith able to show his control right there.
Yeah, that was a nice pull-up jump shot. And here you see UMKC ball in transition, attacking the rim. And I'm looking for them to attack the rim a little more. Like I said, try to get some scoring in with the clock stop. As we see now, NC State up 55-38 going to the break. We'll be right back.
Xavier Bishop at the free throw line as we welcome you back from break. Just missed that free throw. It's the only thing really UMKC has missed here in this second half. They made their last 5 shots.
Yeah, they've come out a little bit more aggressive, being down 20 plus at the half. They got to find a way to slow NC State down and, like I said, score with the clock stop so they can get back in the game.
The Roos playing good defense here. You can see their energy levels picked up a little bit. Torin Dorn, he's had the hot hand tonight. It continues. 17 points, 10 rebounds for number 2.
Yeah, that's a big shot right there by Torin Dorn. And you can see he's worked on his outside shot since he's been at NC State. It's gotten better and better each year.
When he's making threes, this is a dangerous offensive team. He's been so efficient.
Right.
7 of 9 shooting. Giles is left open.
Good pass.
The ball movement from NC State is there. Dorn, too strong. UMKC's been a little better on the defensive glass. Remember that really, when NC State went on its big run, they were controlling everything underneath on both sides.
Right, yeah, NC State was controlling everything on one end, and on the other end, they were making UMKC uncomfortable, and they were taking all contested shots. Here you see UMKC getting the ball in transition, attacking the rim now. They're getting more shots up, and still I haven't seen either team, so it shows it's a credit to the coaching, I guess you could say. Neither team is really taking bad shots, and they're still really getting after it. But no one is taking bad shots out here.
Giles will come out. Isaiah Ross back in. As Smith goes back to the line. The freshman. Oh, I was going to say, I didn't want to jinx him. One more point would be his career high. He's already tied his career high 6 points today.
Just the thought jinxed him, I guess.
I guess so. Yurt 7 in some trouble. Able to get it away.
Yeah,
that was last touch by Dorn.
The Kangaroos have come out with a little bit more energy on the defensive end, and you can tell that they're hustling to the balls a little more, getting their hands a little more active, and it's caused NC State to turn it over a little bit, and NC State hasn't had the easy opportunities in this second half so far.
10th turnover for the Wolfpack. Smith goes around the screen. Finds Bishop. An open three on the way.
Good job that time by NC State. Good patience on defense, also on defense by NC State, and also by the Kangaroos on offense. And here NC State just needs to be careful and not take quick shots and just continue to be patient on offense and continue to get those good shots.
Johnson tipped by Abu, gets another rebound. He's working hard down low.
Yeah, good hustle by Malik Abu, but you can tell where he doesn't have the same type of explosion that he's used to. But right here, just staying with the ball, tapping it, going to get it, then going up and getting fouled. But you can tell that he doesn't have that explosion yet. And once he gets back 100% healthy, those are usually dunks around the basket for him.
He's only played 8 minutes this afternoon so far. That's his 6th point.
Right.
He's added 4 rebounds.
Yeah, that's just showing how active he is. 6 points and 4 rebounds in 8 minutes. That's showing a lot of activity. Violation. Yep.
Gonna get him for a foul here, I think.
Yeah, he got there was a lane violation that time on Malik Abu.
NC State will set up its full court press. The Roos have been pretty good taking care of the basketball. They've only turned it over 9 times.
Yeah. Yeah, they've done a good job against the pressure. I mean, when you got a little guard like this guy right here, man, I tell you, it's tough to get the ball from him.
Bishop will put it on the deck.
Nice.
Nice feed down low, and Leak is hacked. They're going to get Leonard Freeman.
Yeah, see, those are the things that Bishop can do. He can get the ball. He can take care of it. It's hard to press him. And when he does get it and decides to get in the lane, it's hard for a guard to keep him in front of you. It's so hard because he's so quick.
So Leak will head to the line with 9 points. And foul trouble was really not a problem for either team in the first half. It's not a problem for the Kangaroos here. But in the second half, NC State has already committed 6 fouls. So effectively, the Roos are in the bonus the rest of the way at the 13:04 mark. So we'll see how big of a factor that becomes.
Yeah, the Kangaroos, what they've done since they've come out in the second half, they've decided to attack the rim. And it's paying off for them because right now the next shot they're in the 1-and-1, whereas they only have 2 team fouls that they can play around with.
NC State's largest lead was 25. It's been cut to 18. Hunt will launch a long 3. And it'll remain NC State basketball.
Yeah, NC State is just too big and too physical down there on the offensive rebounds. You got Leonard Freeman and Malik Abu down there battling for those boards, and they're just too big and too strong.
12 offensive rebounds. Freeman with a contested 3. Good tip by Johnson, and then Abu tried to bring the house down, but he was blocked by Leak, who waves the finger like Mutombo.
The Mutombo finger.
I love to see that.
yeah. Anytime those big fellas get a block, they bring up Mutombo to give you the finger wag.
It's going to be a blocking foul. And Al Freeman will go to the line. How many times did Mutombo give you the finger wag?
Never. And I practiced against Deke in Atlanta. We'll call him Deke, but I practiced against Deke. Either if I couldn't dunk it, Deke was he's 7'4". So if I couldn't dunk it, I tried to give him a little floater. So I would not let him get it because he talked a lot of trash, and you did not want to hear it. I promise you did. And his voice is so deep, and it just got on your nerves. Hey, Chucky Brown. You didn't want to hear that. You didn't want to hear that. So I couldn't let him block it.
Here's Leak again. He can shoot from the outside. He knocked down that first one, and then the next couple have been off the mark. But again, he came in as a 50% shooter, and I'm not talking 1 for 2. He was 5 for 10. So he's been uncharacteristically off the mark.
Yeah, well, that first one was uncontested. Everyone after that has been contested. And that time, Leonard Freeman kind of got out there to contest it, so maybe a shot fake might have got him a little more open.
And I think Johnson saw Leak standing there, and even without going up, he affected the shot. Chance for the fast break. Hunt reached in. And so that will take us to break. Xavier Bishop will come to the line when we go back. 59-41, UMKC, they're playing better, trying to get back in this one. Today we'll have a trifecta of events for you on ESPN. At 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific, it's the MLS Cup between Toronto FC and the Seattle Sounders. Then at 8, the Heisman Trophy presentation. And at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, top-ranked boxing, the WBO junior lightweight title fight between Vasily Lomachenko and Guillermo Rigodon. Everything on ESPN and the ESPN app. Back with Chucky Brown, I'm Andrew Sanders. You know, we saw the tempo in the first half.
Right.
And both teams were able to score the ball, especially NC State. They nearly scored 50 in the first half.
Right.
Second half, the effort has still been there, but it's been a little uglier of a half. NC State has just won for its last 10. Both teams are shooting under 25% from the three-point arc.
Right. Well, it's gotten a little uglier because UMKC has turned up their defense in the second half, whereas the first half, things were a little easier for NC State.
Right.
And a little bit tougher for the Kangaroos. So in the second half, the roles have sort of reversed. But neither team is lighting it up from the three-point line. Where NC State seems to be killing them is on the offensive glass, where they have probably 14 to 15 offensive rebounds. So that helps to create more scoring.
Sam Hunt, spot up, corner three. And you know, the stat heads in the NBA will tell you that the best shot is an open layup or a dunk, but the second best shot, efficiency-wise, is an open corner three.
An open corner three where you have a drive to the basket and the defender comes off that guy in the strong side corner. Well, you can't come off the strong side corner because that guy's in the corner right there because he can make that shot. So you have to depend on the help to come from the weak side.
Leonard Freeman blocked, and another finger wag. Malik has got it going today.
Malik has got the finger wag going.
Boy, Freeman affecting the shot a couple of times, but how about Isaiah Ross sticking with it?
Yeah, Isaiah Ross that time didn't finish the first one, didn't finish the second one, but stuck with it on the second and third attempt and was able to finish the shot. Nice effort and nice play, nice hustle.
Dorn right over Leak.
Right in the mid-range, too. Dorn is a very deadly mid-range guy. Once he starts adding some consistency to that three-point shot, he's going to be really tough to deal with. And he already is a handful.
No doubt. He's been really the player of the game for NC State today. 19 points, 12 boards. Giles spins over that left shoulder and hits.
Yeah, nice move that time, going to the left, then a nice drop step and turnaround jump shot. Nice finish within the lane, right in the lane.
UMKC giving NC State a little different look here defensively.
Yeah, they need to switch up the defenses. It's still, right now they're going back to the small ball and try to force NC State to do something else and try to use their quickness a little bit.
Freeman with the deep three. Not this time. Here comes McKissick. Head down, a one-man fast break. He'll go to the line.
Yeah, that time right there in transition, McKisson was able to split two NC State defenders right there and get to the basket and get the foul on Sam Hunt. And see, now what they've done is been able to get to the line and been able to score with the clock stopped and slowly chop the NC State lead down. The biggest lead was 25. If they make these two right here, it'll be down to 15.
Maybe it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. They've been battle-tested. They've played in some tough places before. So while this is a great atmosphere here, if you've ever been to Wichita State, you know what that atmosphere is like too. So they've seen it. They've been in arenas that are very intimate like this with very passionate fans. And They've kind of just taken their time here, settled in. Freeman.
Nice move that time.
Yeah, I don't know if they would have counted that or not. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I think they would have counted it, but they're not going to be intimidated at all. You know, that they've played in some hostile environments at the beginning of the season. You know, Kansas State is another hostile environment.
Sure.
Manhattan, Kansas has been hostile for years. You know, Wichita State, you know how they are. You know, I can remember back in the Xavier McDaniel days. So they have a good basketball tradition there as well. So they're not going to be intimidated coming in here.
Giles puts it on the floor, goes hard, and is fouled by Leonard Freeman.
Yeah, see, that's one of the things that the small ball can do is like Giles had Leonard Freeman out there. Leonard Freeman is a big guy, not really used to being out there guarding a guy that can play, you know, some small forward actually, and he was able to put the ball down and get by Leonard Freeman. And I'm sure if Leonard Freeman picks up a few more fouls or gets into some foul trouble, I'm sure NC State will make the necessary adjustments.
It's the third foul on Freeman as Marco Smith is ready to check back in. He subs in for Isaiah Ross. And we've seen more fouls here in this second half. It has messed with the great tempo that we had in the first half, but as you said, I think you're spot on, Chucky. Coach Richardson must have said to his team, look, you guys are quick. You guys can get to the rim. Make them foul you. Put pressure on them to go to the basket. And that's been the mentality, and it's paying off. Yeah,
basically, you know, telling his team, you know, don't settle. You know, they're playing good defense. They're contesting our threes. Let's not take the first shot that we see that's there. Let's try to move the ball around and move it to the open guy.
Strong rebound by Marco Smith, pushing the pace. Chance to get it under 15 here for the Roos. Another rebound for Dorn. And then he was bumped by Smith, no call. An up and under lay-in will work, and there it is, 14 points now.
Yeah, they've turned up the defense. That initial shot, the three-pointer, was not the shot that you want when you're trying to come back, but they were able to capitalize on an NC State turnover in the open court.
Dorn didn't settle for the three. Instead, they'll back it out to Markel Johnson.
Oh, he traveled, yep. Good call, travel.
Shuffled the feet there before he put it on the deck. And so here comes Omer Yurtseven into the game as he checks in for Freeman. And this will be a good matchup here. Yurtseven against Alir Leak.
Yeah.
It's the 13th turnover committed by NC State. A traveling violation from Freeman. A lot more confidence visible from the Roos. There's a confident shot from Smith. 12-point game. Still plenty of time left here in Reynolds Coliseum. I think the fans recognizing this is a key juncture of this matchup.
Yeah, this is a big offensive possession for NC State to stop the run. There you go.
They hadn't really, NC State hadn't really gotten the ball inside that much in the second half.
Right.
They know where to go when they need a basket.
Yep, so that was a good play. Got the ball to Yurtseven, and he had a nice jump hook there and finished the play. Good job by Beverly keeping Bishop in front of him.
NC State trying to feed on the energy of this crowd. Giles can't silence them, but an offensive rebound, and the big guys are battling.
Yeah, that was a nice soft touch right there on an offensive rebound. NC State hadn't really given a whole lot of second chance offensive rebounds in the second half, but that time the Kangaroos got one and capitalized. Good drive by Al Freeman that time. That's what you need to do. When you're struggling from the outside, try to get something going to the basket and then go back to the outside, or work your outside game off your draw and kick. Dribble drives, help come over, and you kick it to someone for a rhythm shot.
Ball screen action, and Bishop knocks it down over Yurt 7. Again, both of these teams, they pressure defensively. They run a lot of ball screens offensively, and Bishop getting it done. The Kangaroos, along with Marvin Nesbitt, again, it's the defense that feeds the offense. And UMKC has cut it to 12. We've got a good game on our hands here in Raleigh. Andrew Sanders, Chucky Brown. This is the annual Heritage Game presented by First Tennessee. This building, so special, the home of NC State basketball for 50 years, from 49 to 99. When it was built, it seated 11,000. It was the largest stadium in the Southeast. And for this Heritage Game, NC State is 15-1, so this is a nice thing that they've done to come back once a year. So many great memories here. This is the house that Case built. It means so much, not just to basketball here in Raleigh or basketball in the Triangle, but in the ACC in the Southeast.
Yeah, Reynolds was always, I played in the NBA with a few guys that I played against in college.
Okay.
And one of the things they always told me, like the J.R. Reeds, the Christian Leitners, they always said that Reynolds was the one place that they hated to come and play. Reynolds seated, when I played here, it was 12,400. The only time that it seated more was the Kansas game. We played Kansas during it was like a fall break, and they had gave away the student tickets, and the students rushed the door. So they decided not to kick them out. They put more seats out. So I think it might have been about 12,800 here that game. But it was more people for that game because the students rushed the door. But it's just so much history here, so many great memories that I have being here, and I just love coming back in here.
Braxton Beverly with a big three to extend that lead back out to 15. And Beverly's now in double figures now. Ball thrown away. Is Johnson going to be able to track it down? Yes, he is.
Yeah, just because of the way that he plays the passing lanes, that caused that turnover.
And that would have been a dagger three from Al Freeman. Instead, here come the Roos. Giles is left open, shoots over Yurt 7. Gets his own miss. And now Robinson, you don't want to leave him alone.
Yeah.
Boarded up. I'll put you on the spot here. I know there's plenty of games that you can think of, but is there one game that sticks out in your mind more than others, or maybe one memory specifically with Reynolds?
Yeah, I think of course, my personal memory was the UNC game my senior year. We beat Carolina, and at the time it was my career high, 29 points, 16 rebounds. So that's probably
pretty good.
That was okay.
Yeah.
That was okay. Yeah. So that memory sticks out. And also another memory, as far as NC State goes, a team memory is when we beat #1 Kentucky. Came in here with Kenny Skywalker, and we beat them. And beat them by like 20. We beat them pretty handily. So that sticks out. And also when we beat Louisville, the year they won the national championship, we were the last team to beat them. And we also beat them pretty handily, beat them by 20 as well. So those memories stick out in my mind.
Yurt 7 to the free throw line.
Good touch.
He'll get the roll. That's why I'm so glad to have you here next to me for this game, because I can pick your brain about all that stuff. Got some great memories, and this building definitely, obviously you guys had some really good teams.
Oh, yeah.
Talent-wise. But this building, again, nobody wanted to come here and play.
Yeah,
it was a special, special place.
And that's what you want your home court to be, somewhere where guys know, or other teams know, that when they come there, they're not coming there. If they win, it's a surprise to them. And, when I found out the business side of it, where, we pay teams to come play, we definitely didn't want you to win then if we were paying you to come play us. We wanted you to, you pay for a butt whipping. We send you home with that butt whipping. So that's how we thought once we heard the business side of it.
Under 4:30 to play. Freeman.
It looked a little strange.
I think he got an extra step in there, Chucky.
It looked a little strange there. But, hey, it's not a walk unless they call it, right?
Freeman has double figures. That's now 4 for NC State with double figures. This is a team that has had balanced scoring really all season long. They can get scoring from a ton of different places. Robinson has that one queued up.
Yeah, now he's gotten 2 really good looks. These last 2 shots that he had were really good looks. He missed the first one. He made that one. So NC State, even though you have a nice lead, you still want to be aware of Robinson because he can get it going really fast.
He really can. He was unconscious against Southeast Missouri. Double team comes, and boy, what a catch from Smith. That ball was rifled from point-blank range, and he didn't even bobble it.
Yeah, your 7 has to do a better job of passing out of the double team and try to pass it before the double team gets there and keep the ball up high as well.
Smith, tough shot. He knocked it down. The freshman is stepping up. Again, they need someone to step up. It's been Robinson some. It's been Bishop some. Today it's been Marco Smith. He does have his career high now. Smith with 12 points. And the Kangaroos, they've got plenty of time left. 3:17. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Kevin Keats and the NC State Wolfpack trying to withstand a run from UMKC. There's their leading scorers. It's been Dorn tonight, but Beverly, Johnson, and Freeman just recently getting into double figures. They need somebody to step up here offensively. The Pack, they haven't scored 30 points yet in the second half as the Kangaroos have continued to claw back.
Yeah, that time the Kangaroos came out with a defense where they trapped the first pass and didn't catch NC State off guard. They tried to, but that's an old UNC Dean Smith tactic where they'll trap that first pass, especially coming out of a timeout, and it didn't catch NC State off guard that time.
This will be the 6th team foul on the Roos, and Bishop can't believe it. The crowd here with a little sarcastic cheer because NC State has been whistled for more fouls in this half.
Well, the fouls tend to go to the aggressor.
Absolutely.
And UMKC have been the offensive aggressor in the second half. So
they sure
the
have.
Crowd, you can't really be mad. Can't really be mad. Whoa, be careful with that pass.
Going to be a blocking foul. Could have gone either way. I'm not sure. Potentially, Leak was in the restricted area. Talking about UMKC being the aggressors.
Yeah.
And we'll get a look and see. No, he was just shuffling his feet. The Roos have outscored the Pack 20-12 in the paint in the second half. They are plus 10 off turnovers. They've scored 10. NC State has not scored any points off turnovers. And on the fast break, outscoring the Wolfpack 11-5. So those are the marks of aggressive teams.
That's right. It's shown. The defensive aggression is shown because they've been able to get more turnovers on NC State. And also, the offensive aggression is shown because they've been able to get to the line in the second half. So they've been the more aggressive team, and that's why they are getting the calls. Now, when NC State is aggressive, they will get the calls. But, you know, UMKC has been aggressive, and they've been getting the calls.
Ross. Strong rebound by Al Freeman. It's one and done for the Roos. Torin Dorn, by the way, with that free throw now has 20 points to go along with his 14 boards.
Yeah, he's been solid this entire game and pretty much the entire season.
NC State going to run a little time here. Beverly dribbles out of trouble. Johnson with the three. Ooh. Bang. That's a backbreaker right there. It stretches the lead back out to 15.
Yeah, that's a tough three-point shot right there by Markel. You have to have good body strength to make that type of three.
Boy, Bishop is fun to watch. He can get to any area he wants. Again, a smaller player, as Freeman will be called for his 4th foul, I believe. But he's only 5'8", but you were saying it's hard to take the ball away from him. He gets wherever he wants.
Yeah, it's hard to get the ball from him. He's a tough little guy, tough little player with great quickness. It's tough to deal with a guy like that.
In case you're wondering why the student section is going nuts right now, they have a promotion where if a player misses 2 free throws late in the game, the students and everybody with a ticket gets a chicken biscuit. And when I was in college, I was the same way. Nothing I wanted in college more than free food.
Right.
So that's why they're upset right now, because for the promotion, the player has to miss both free throws. Like McKissick staying calm under pressure.
Yeah, they should start booing him now then, right?
With a chicken biscuit on the line, he knocks him down. NC State breaks the pressure. Now Beverly in a little trouble, almost lost the handle. No look pass from Johnson. Dorn over Leak, not this time. Freeman cleaning up. Dorn with a two-handed jam.
Just hanging around, just hanging around.
22-15 for Torin Dorn. Robinson from way downtown. And a timeout will be called by Coach Richardson. The action's heated up here in the last minute and a half or so.
Yeah, UMKC, they're out here competing. That time the shot was blocked a little bit. Leonard Freeman misses, and Torin Dorn just hanging around. Just hanging around doing the things that he does well, and that's get the garbage plays, get the loose rebounds, the loose balls, and the hustle plays.
He's such a good rebounder for a guard. At 6'5", he plays bigger than that.
Yes.
Here's the next 5 games for NC State. So they've got 3 more non-conference games.
Right.
And then things really start to heat up.
Right.
You go on the road at Clemson. And by the way, the next game on the schedule off of this graphic is Duke.
Oh, okay.
So that's a big-time game.
Yeah.
Also, it should be noted, number 1 Duke lost today on the road in Chestnut Hill to Boston College. So road games in the ACC, not easy. And
right.
BC right now is first place in the conference.
Yeah, well, hey, the first conference game, you want to get off to a good start. No better way to get off to a good start for BC than by beating Duke. And that just lets you know how tough the conference is going to be.
Yep.
When Boston College, I hadn't looked at it, but I'm pretty sure they picked to finish in the bottom. I think they lost one of their top players. So they pretty much picked to finish in the bottom. And they beat the team that's probably picked to win the conference. So that just lets you know right there, you start coming into the conference play, there's no time to mess around.
No.
So you better come with your attaché case or your briefcase, your suit on. You better become ready for business and come ready to play, because the other team is going to come ready to play.
ACC play right around the corner.
Yep. I mean, we hadn't even talked about like the Florida States and the Syracuse and you know, the Carolinas, the Wake Forest. We didn't even talk about them guys yet. So, you know, the each night in the ACC, you know, it was tough back when we played. It was only 8 teams, you know, every night you had to play. But I know it's really tough now. You got, what, 14 teams in the ACC? So every night, you know, 13 different nights, you're gonna have to play a tough opponent. And it can be mentally and physically exhausting. Then you have the ACC tournament. You know, then it's like, then you got to go to the NCAA tournament where you play somebody that's more likely going to be some conference champion or somebody from a big conference. So, I mean, it really gets no rougher.
Here's a look at the preseason poll. NC State picked 12th again. Look at Boston College, picked 14th. They can beat Duke on their home floor. Anybody can beat anybody in this conference. And that's why, you know, when you look at the strength of this league, if you're the 9th team, you finish 9th in the ACC, or you finish 10th, you've got a chance to make the tournament.
Yeah.
And that's why some people are looking at this NC State team and saying, hey, look, if they can just exceed expectations by just a little bit, they could be a bubble team for sure.
Well, I definitely don't see NC State as being a 12th, finishing 12th type of team in no way, shape, or form. I think they're much better than that. So I look for them to finish in the middle of the pack. Of the ACC and you know, a possible tournament berth, but that's looking, you know, far in advance. I don't want to look too far in advance, but I definitely see them finishing higher than 12.
Spencer Newman gets a hand here as he comes into the game for Al Freeman. He played his first ever minutes last Saturday against South Carolina State. Last year, he had a foot injury, missed the entire year, but he was part of that top 10 recruiting class that featured Markel Johnson and, of course, Dennis Smith Jr.
Right. Well, it's good to see him out there.
So I'm sure they will look to probably get him a shot here and see if he can't get his first college bucket. Ross is left open, right wing. No good. And Newman gets the board. And they are going to find him a shot.
Good look. One more time. One more time.
And everybody in the building yelling at him to shoot it. And all he does is smile. Got a 3-second differential here between shot clock and game clock. And we talked about UMKC being well tested, but NC State being well tested. They've already got a couple of nice wins against Arizona, against Penn State in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. They're looking to build that resume as Johnson will tip it in just before the horn. And that will do it. 88-69. The final score is NC State beats UMKC in the first ever meeting between these two schools. Coach Keats, Coach Richardson have a warm reception there as they shake hands. This was a fun game to watch, Chucky. It was very enjoyable.
Yeah, it was a very fun game to watch. And, you know, both teams got after it. And one thing I have to compliment both coaches, I didn't see the bad shots. Normally when you see teams going up and down, you see a lot of bad shots, bad threes taken, and I did not see that in this game. So great job by both teams. NC State was just able to come up with the win, and they got more offensive rebounds and just made the Kangaroos a little bit more uncomfortable.
So NC State wins this one to improve to 8-2 on the year. UMKC drops to 3-8. The star for the Wolfpack today, Torin Dorn, 22 points, 17 rebounds. For my partner, Chucky Brown, and our great crew here in Raleigh. Hope you enjoyed watching this one, the annual Heritage Game from Reynolds Coliseum. My name is Andrew Sanders saying so long from Raleigh. The final score is NC State 88, UMKC 69. This has been a presentation of ESPN.